Greetings. I'm Lauren Pruitt, the Legal Director of Free State Justice. I'm thrilled to share with you some essential information about exercising your right to vote in Maryland. Understanding the primary election process is crucial as it's used by both the Democratic and Republican parties to select their candidates for the general election. Typically, you'll need to be registered with either one of those parties to be eligible to vote in the primary election. However, if nonpartisan offices are up for election in the primary, any voter can vote for these offices. The ballot you receive will vary depending on your party affiliation. If you wish to change your political party, you can do so during the designated voter registration periods. Check your voter registration card to ensure your party affiliation is correct so you can access the correct ballot when you vote. Remember, you don't have to be affiliated with a political party to vote. However, your choices on the primary ballot will be limited to a small number of nonpartisan races, such as the primary election to select nominees for your local Board of Education. To register to vote in Maryland, you must meet specific requirements, such as being a U.S. citizen, a Maryland resident, and at least 16 years old. If you are a minor, you can register to vote at 16, but you can only cast a ballot once you reach the age of 18. However, you can vote in the primary election at 17 years old if you will be 18 before the general election. Keep in mind that individuals who are incarcerated are not eligible to vote or register. After completing your imprisonment sentence, you can register to vote unless you have been convicted of buying or selling votes. There are special rules for people under court-ordered guardianship, and the Board of Elections can help them understand their voting rights. Various options are available if you want to register to vote in Maryland. One way is to use Maryland's online voter registration system to register online. Alternatively, you can mail a voter registration application to your local Board of Elections or the State Board of Elections. It's important to note that the deadline to register online or by mail was April 23rd, 2024. If you've chosen to mail your application, it must have been postmarked by that date. However, you can still register to vote in person if you've missed that deadline. Maryland has same-day registration, which means you can register and vote on the same day. To do this, you'll need to go to an early voting center in the county where you live or to your polling place on election day and bring a document that proves where you live. Acceptable documents include your MVA-issued license, MVA-issued ID card, change of address card, paycheck, bank statement, utility bill, or any other government document that shows your name and address. Moreover, you can also register to vote in person at several government offices and local organizations. The Board of Elections website provides detailed information on how to register and where to do so at elections.maryland.gov. To register to vote, you must provide basic information such as your name, gender, and date of birth. Additionally, federal law requires that you provide your Maryland's driver's license number or Maryland ID card number. If you don't have either of those, the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. It's important to note that your application won't be processed if you don't provide this information or affirm under penalty of perjury that you don't have any of those identification numbers. You'll also need to provide your mailing address and residential address. You can affiliate with a political party, which is required if you wish to vote in most of the primary elections. However, you can still vote in the general election in all races without being affiliated with a party. Additionally, this form can be used to update your name or address if either has changed since you first registered. The voter notification card is very important. This card provides that your registration has been processed and that you can now participate in Maryland elections. You should double check all the details on this card, such as your name and address, to ensure that everything is correct. If there are any errors, it is important to contact your local election office immediately to have them corrected. It's important to remember that any changes made less than 3 weeks before an election may not be reflected in the upcoming election. However, if you need help finding your information using your old details, officials can assist you. It's important to know that in Maryland, there are 3 ways to cast your vote: voting on election day, early voting, or by mail-in voting, which used to be called absentee voting. You'll be given a paper ballot to fill out when you vote. However, if you need assistance marking your ballot, you can use electronic marking devices available at the polling locations. The votes are then counted using electronic scanners. Primary elections will be held on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Polling places will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you go to a polling place different from the one that you are assigned, you must vote a provisional ballot so the Board of Elections can determine which electoral races you are eligible to vote in based on the district that you live in. You will be able to vote as long as you are in line at your polling place by 8 p.m., even if it is after 8 by the time you cast your ballot. Most people voting in person will mark their ballot privately and then take it to be scanned. You may have 1 or 2 children under the age of 18 with you when you mark your ballot. If you need someone to help you vote, you can bring someone or have 2 election judges assist you. If you bring someone to help you, they cannot be your employer or an agent of your employer, an officer or agent of your union, or a challenger or watcher. You can bring any printed material with you to help you vote. Please note you cannot use a phone, camera, or computer equipment inside a polling place, even while standing in line waiting to vote. So bringing printed reading materials can help pass the time. Early voting is like voting on election day. For the primary elections, early voting begins on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, and lasts until Thursday, May 9th. You can vote at any early voting location in your county on any of the days from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., including the weekends. Like election day voting, you can cast a ballot if you are in line to vote by 8 p.m. There are fewer early voting locations than polling places, so it's essential to check the Board of Elections website to go to one of the locations in your county. Howard County has 5 early voting locations seen here. In Maryland, absentee voting is now called mail-in voting. You can receive a mail-in ballot via mail, fax, or email. The deadline to request a ballot by mail or fax is May 7th, and the deadline to request a ballot by email or online system is May 10th. Your request must be received by these dates, not just postmarked. If you miss these deadlines, please go to your local Board of Elections to request a mail-in ballot in person. Once you receive your ballot, mark it per the instructions and return it by mail or hand. If you choose to return it by mail, ensure that it's postmarked by or before May 14th, Election Day. If you prefer to return it by hand, you must take it to an official drop box or your local Board of Elections by or before 8 p.m. on Election Day. If you're looking for more information on voting in Maryland, be sure to visit the Maryland Board of Elections website. There you'll find the online voter registration link, which allows you to register to vote in federal, state, county, and city elections in Maryland. You can also request a mail-in ballot and update your registration if your name or address is changed. Additionally, you can change your registration to a new political party. Also, if you're interested, there are 2 other videos available that cover the primary election process, how to register to vote, how to cast your vote, the 2024 primary ballots, and where to find reliable information on the candidates. Thank you for viewing.